Turn up the hustle with the ashy knuckles. Compare me to zero like the jersey on Russell. You know I'm gone off the strong, no muscle. I'm like...
Yo, what's going on, everybody? You know who it is. It's your host, Tay Wiggs. Unfortunately, my co-host couldn't be here tonight, Mark Sr. This is After Hours Live for the Man Cave. First and foremost, we're going to jump right into it, man. The NBA is winding down. The season is almost near. So, is the Lakers done? That's the question everybody asking me. Are the Lakers done? Everybody know I'm a huge LeBron James fan. Let's be honest, man. LeBron James is getting no older. The tread on the tires are wearing down a little bit. Yes, even though he's 37 years old, he's still going at an all-time high. But let's be honest, people. The reason why LeBron James is going so hard, because I'm going to say this. Anthony Davis is always hurt. Russell Westbrook is putting too much stuff in his bag, trying to carry the team, to slow the pace down a little bit. Carmelo Anthony is not the same Carmelo Anthony as they once was. Trevor Ariza in and out the lineup. And look, Kendrick Nunn. Let's talk about the missing piece that nobody's not really been talking about. We know Malik Monk been doing his thing. Let's talk about Kendrick Nunn. You know, he played good for the Miami Heat last year, in that bubble, and the year before COVID and all that stuff. Let's be honest. When is he coming back from injury? Is he on a permanent vacation in LA? The glitz and the glam? I mean, if you get him back, that's another 5 or 6 wins, maybe. I mean, let's be honest. You know, I'm gonna be everywhere, but I'm a huge LeBron James fan. But the one thing I'm gonna take away from LeBron James is, 37 years old. I would like to see LeBron James to be off the ball more. He don't need the ball in his hands all the time. He's pounding the ball too much. The team is out there looking lost when he has the ball. It's pretty much LeBron James got the basketball, ISO situation. You guys get the hell out the way. You're not going to win no games like that. Frank Vogel, is it more of a coach? Yes. Do we have a good rotation? No. What the Lakers are lacking? They don't have no shooters. They have no one else outside that can create their own shot besides LeBron James. You know, Russell can, but you know, Russell Westbrook, you know, he throws the ball up there a couple of times. He's going to miss. He's going to break the ball. But who's outside of that can create their own shot besides Carmelo Anthony? It's only like 3 players. Who else can? There's not too many guys that can do that on the Lakers squad. So I'm looking at the Lakers squad. When I'm looking at certain things they're missing, I'm looking at Dwight Howard, he's older. LeBron James older. Carmelo Anthony's older. Trevor Ariza is definitely older. This is one of the oldest teams in the NBA. And watching these guys play the last couple of games, and they don't look like they're championship caliber team. Who knows when AD comes back? Is this team has what it takes to get enough over that hill to get them into a good playoff run? Let's be honest. Nobody's scared to play Los Angeles Lakers at all. Nobody's not scared to play LeBron James. They just think, all right, LeBron, you're older now. You're not the 27-year-old LeBron James in the past. You are the future LeBron James. You're just like them characters you had. You are now the elder statesman of the league. You are a wise LeBron. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go YouTube it or Google it, the LeBron James commercials. LeBron James is wise. He's older. He's wiser. He's slowing down. And what I'm seeing from Lakers, this is not Lakers caliber basketball at all. Period. And you look at the Los Angeles Lakers in the West, they number 9. They in the play-in tournament. If the playoff tournament start today, they'll be playing against New Orleans Pelicans. So we know what you got to do when you want to beat the Lakers. Just run the floor. Go at a main target on the team. For instance, like a Carmelo Anthony, if he's out there, go at him. But before we get to nitty gritty, let's run this Eastern Conference now. The number 1 seed, the playoffs are today. Number 1 seed would be the Miami Heat. Number 2 is the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 3 is the Philadelphia 76ers, the new improved look 76ers. Number 4, the Chicago Bulls. Number 5, the Boston Celtics emerged back from the dead. Number 6 is the Cleveland Cavaliers, maybe a potential coach of the year over there in Cleveland. Number 7 as a play-in team. These are the 4 play-in teams right now. The Toronto Raptors will be playing against the Brooklyn Nets. That's 7 to 8 right there. The number 9 would be the Charlotte Hornets going against Atlanta Hawks. That's a 10, and it's the Hawks. So as we break these teams out, as we go through this pod, I am looking at where the Charlotte Hornets and Atlanta Hawks play. We know that the Hawks are still without John Collins, but the Hawks are still a dangerous team out there. They still got shooters like Dino Gallinari, Ice Trey Young. You know him doing the shimmering. That team is pretty nice. It's a dangerous team. If you let them get hot, they can do some damage to you. The Charlotte Hornets is another one. They got a good pickup at Montrezl Harrell, who I definitely like. You know, a big man with some nasty that got some edge. That's going to play hard all 48 minutes of basketball. Kelly Oubre is one of their shining stars right now, but he's also a streaky shooter. We know what LaMelo Ball could do to All-Star, and we're looking at Miles Bridges, who I think should be the dunk contest. We ain't going to talk about the dunk contest, but I think Miles Bridges and those guys and the Charlotte Hornets with LaMelo Ball, that team is the force to be reckoned with when it comes to playing against a team like that. And that team can run down the court with the best of them. So can Atlanta Hawks. So if the playoffs did start today, if I had to win that series as a play-in tournament, that's going to be a tough one. I wouldn't mind saying the Hornets will win, but it's something about that Hawks team that they pretty sneaky, quiet, good. Then you look at this 7th and 8th matchup of the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving scored a healthy 50 ball, a 50 burger, 50 burner, 50 piece on the Charlotte Hornets the other night. And he did it on 19 shots, 9 for 12 from the three-point line. And KD, everybody's thinking about KD was going to do a lot of scoring. I mean, KD had one of the most modest games that you would see. He's very efficient on both sides of the floor. He still commands that double team. And the one thing we're not going to talk about is that bad boy, Kyrie Irving. We know some people love him, some people hate him. I'm going to be honest with you, I love the guy. The guy got the Cavaliers a championship ring, my city. And then, like I said, some people want to disrespect Kyrie Irving. I'm keep saying this till I turn blue in the face. That NBA Finals run with Kyrie Irving, when he hit the claim with a shot, and you know he been going point for point with LeBron James as his teammate, and you know they gave LeBron James the MVP. We know it's all political when it comes to stuff like that, and by him being a hometown guy. But let's call a spade a spade. Somebody asked me, who you think was the Finals MVP back in 2016? And I keep telling people, without a doubt, Kyrie Irving was the MVP. Look what he did. He made the game that much easier for LeBron. LeBron had the game 7 block, but who had the game winning shot? You know what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving is always going to be a legend in Cleveland. You know, he get booed the other night in Boston, did his thing. So guess what? If this is one team that nobody didn't want to play in the East. Nobody. They got small guards, yes. But this is a dangerous team if you got Kyrie going. And KD. We're not even going to talk about Steph Curry, who's actually shooting a 3-ball better than his brother this year again. But another dangerous shooter. One of my favorites I like come off the bench. Patty Mills is dangerous. I thought the Andre Drummond pickup was actually refreshing for them because Andre don't know how to do that much. Just run the floor and catch oops, which I think that was a better improvement, an upgrade from a DeAndre Jordan had a couple of seasons ago. But I still think the Brooklyn Nets is still harping and missing out on Jared Allen. You know, Jared Allen is out right now with a fractured finger. And right now, he's out indefinitely. So when they say out indefinitely, don't get scared, people. That don't mean for the rest of the season, but he's out indefinitely to further notice, which means he could be out for 2 to 3 weeks. And that's what we're looking at. You know, the average fan probably take 4 to 5 weeks, which means he'd be back just in time for the playoffs. So as we go into see this, the Brooklyn Nets is a dangerous 8-seed team that's playing in the playoff game. I don't think nobody want to play them going into that. Now, that did, I'm going to be honest, Brooklyn's going to get past Toronto. If that did happen, this series happened today, and you're looking at that 2nd seed matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Milwaukee has beat them last year in the conference finals. So when you're looking at the Brooklyn Nets now going against the Milwaukee Bucks have been surging again, looking like they're old championship caliber team. What do you take away from the Brooklyn Nets going against the Milwaukee Bucks? First, we know Milwaukee Bucks are the defending champions. We know they traded away Dante DiVincenzo, which I thought was a huge blow to the team because I thought they could have needed some more firepower. I thought Milwaukee trying to be sneaky, going to try and get Buddy Hield, which would have been awfully dangerous. But you still got Pat Connaughton on your squad. You still got Chris Middleton, who's a bad boy too, on another mid-range killer as well. He goes hand in hand with certain things too as well. Then not only that, you look at the Milwaukee Bucks. Bobby Portis is another one who's been stepping up. He's especially the defender. You know, the eyes says it all. But the Brooklyn Nets is something about them. You got to be careful with them. Do not let them get hot. We just got to sneak peek what could be probably them in the NBA Finals. So as you go to the Miami Heat been going through injuries, all type of stuff, and they still maintain to be enough. They still have around the whole season between 1 and 2 seed, and they still going at it. Tyler Hero, who's playing lights out, probably got a chance to probably be the most improved player in the league or a sixth man. That's what it look like. That's the type of ball game that Tyler Hero was shooting. Jimmy Butler's another one, great defender, two-way player, very strong in the block, another mid-range guy who gets the shots done. I'm looking at Bam Adebayo, another guy who goes down the floor and running for really big. This team has young guys. The young core of Miami Heat is another dangerous team. Can they live from that Cinderella season that they had in the bubble? Can they bring that bubble presence back into the arena, the FTX arena where they play in the Miami Heat? I don't think nobody want to go there and play them in the 7-game series, which is a tough. Shout out to Aaron Spoelstra to keep everything going, dealing with the injuries and all type of other stuff that's been going on with his team. And he could be a possible coach of the year. So you're looking at that. Looking at the at the number 3 team in the East, you're going to the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden. Joel Embiid. Those two guys right there looking like the best pick and roll duo since who? Karl Malone and John Stockton. The jury's still out. It's still early. We know what happened around this time of the season when it gets so close to playoff time. I don't want to jinx nobody. It is. I'm not saying I'm jinx nobody. Let's call it for what it is. This is straight facts. We know every year around this time where they get close to the playoffs or deep into a playoff run, we know that James Harden do come over with a hamstring injury. Can James Harden stay healthy? I know y'all guys seen a couple of days ago that James Harden, when the game was over, he's running up and down the stairs. Some people call them stairs, some people call them the bleachers. So whatever the case may be, James Harden's running up and down the arena, down the stairs, getting some extra cardio in, making sure he's straight, making sure to keep that hamstring loose and not tight. So all I'm saying about James Harden, is he going to be there this season in the playoffs when it really counts? That's all the team is searching for. Is he that guy that we're going to see? If we're going to see like that MVP type James Harden, we know what Joel Embiid right now is the future right now. Probably a hopeful to be a part of the MVP race or the MVP voting. And we're not even going to talk about Tobias Harris, who's not in the lineup yet. Will be back and he will be inserted. So once Tobias Harris come back, can this team take another leap into the playoffs or for the rest of the season? Which I do think they one of the dangerous teams in the league when it comes to the situation you got. You got the best big man in the Eastern Conference. Then not only that, you probably got the arguably either the best or the second best shooting guard in the conference in the East, in James Harden. Since that trade, they've been undefeated. Can they carry this same momentum? That's the whole thing that we've been waiting for. We know everybody been asking about the Ben Simmons trade and the 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. That's a game that everybody will be tuning into. I think I will be tuning in that too. I mean, that's going to be a good game. Hey, so who you get an edge to between Brooklyn and Philadelphia? Ooh. If I could, I would definitely take the 76ers and the edge. But it's so hard to go up against a person like KD. If KD get going early, just like Kyrie Irving, it's a wrap, folks. It's definitely a wrap. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna take Brooklyn in this game today. I definitely like what I'm seeing from that young squad. The Brooklyn Nets is nothing to play with. Definitely got a couple of guys over there with championship caliber aspirations who actually held up the Larry O'Brien trophy. So guess what? You gotta go ride with the guys who actually been there before, played in the grit and the grind. And that's what I'm saying. I would take the Brooklyn Nets to win this game. Let's talk about the other MVP candidate, DeMar DeRozan, aka Debo, aka Mr. 15-footer for life, Mr. Mid-Range, the knockdown slayer. What else do you want from DeMar DeRozan? He does everything that the coach asks of him. When he went to Chicago, how many people really thought that Chicago was actually going to be a playoff contender team? If some of y'all said yes, I don't believe you. But if you ask me, I'm going to say yes because we've seen what DeMar DeRozan did when he played in Toronto. Playing in the Eastern Conference is nothing new. Just only that he went to the Western Conference and played them 2 seasons with Popovich. He learned more. He chose wiser shots. You can tell he don't rush nothing. He slowed the game down. The game comes to him, and he finishes, and he delivers. And play with a young person like a Zach LaVine, a Kobe White. These young guys definitely understand. Okay, cool. Let's do this. We're going to run this play. We're going to execute here and there. Then not only was another great pickup was Nikola Vucevic, was another big man. So I definitely like that. So when you got that going, the Chicago Bulls team, it can be hard to beat going in the near future, going to the playoffs. Another team that's really dangerous. But the whole thing is, some of these guys on this team, this will be their first time actually playing in the NBA playoffs. Can they handle what's coming to them? That's the whole nature of this sport. Can you take the next step in being great in the league? When you do this, you don't have to answer to no one. All the people have to do is get some popcorn, grab a soda, sit back, and enjoy the show. Because this young Bulls team, they're very dangerous. And not to forget about Lonzo Ball. So you talk about another guy, improve on his shooting. Definitely a two-way player on the defensive end. So the Ball brothers, Lonzo, Melo, they doing their thing. We can't forget about their brother Jello playing down in Greensboro Swarm here where I'm at. I'm in Charlotte, but Greensboro, but about an hour and 40 minutes. I say 2 hours. But let's say, I told you so. That Lonzo Ball is actually going to deliver if they get into the playoffs, because he's been there before, and they're gonna miss Caruso, which is another good pickup that they had too. So hopefully he be back just in time too for the second half of the season. So this number 5 team was the Boston Celtics. You heard me say on the pod before. They season been up and down, stagnant in different ways. I keep saying that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are the same type player, which they are, which was going to be dangerous in the playoffs. And both these guys going for 25 plus in the playoffs, it's going to be a hard time trying to beat those guys. Because only that, you got a great defender in Marcus Smart, which he's definitely been picking up a lot of praises around the league. What he does on the court too as well. So I'm looking at the other pick of the head. It was Devin White. Another shooter. It's definitely key for what's going on for the Boston Celtics. So you know what is going to happen. Can the Boston Celtics sustain enough of this juice going into the playoffs? Will Jason Tatum still be Jason Tatum? Can Jason Tatum really take over a game? Can he be that effective? I know he'd be effective on the offensive end. Can he play enough defense on that end to keep this team above water for the rest of the season, leading into the playoffs? If Jason Tatum could play that role and actually lock down on a defender and do the things that he needs, we know Jaylen Brown can play defense, and we know the opposite of Jaylen Brown he's a streaky shooter. So if these guys can mesh and mold all that stuff together, this team could be a dangerous team that nobody don't want to play. They got Al Horford back, so what can this team do to take the next step? That's the whole thing that we want to know as people. You got the chips, you got the coach. We know Brad Stevens from coach and went to the GM. Now, the whole thing is, can they put something together and make this a dangerous team? Which they can. And you look at the number 6 team in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nobody had the Cleveland Cavaliers making the playoffs. I'm not going to sit here in front and lie to you guys. I didn't have the Cavaliers making the playoffs. I said, okay, let's see how this team get together. Let's see how they go. I said I had the Cavaliers at most as like an 11-seeded team in the Eastern Conference. Still a young team. Got to put some things together. But you look at the coach like J.B. Bickerstaff, who's been around the league forever. His dad was a coach too as well. So you're looking at J.B. Bickerstaff. What is he doing with this young team, making these guys play for each other? Like, you watch the game, this team stands up. They cheer for each other. If somebody fall on the floor, they help each other up. You can tell this is a close-knit group. This team has the grit and the grind to get things done. So when you look at the young Cleveland Cavaliers, a Darius Garland, who was an all-star at home, a Jared Allen, like I said earlier in this segment, an all-star who's out right now indefinitely. So you're looking at Isaiah Okoro, probably could be a future all-star. Lauri Markkanen. The team is loaded with big men. But the whole thing about the Cavaliers, when they get these leads, can they sustain the lead? Don't go to sleep on the defensive end. Don't take the wrong shot selection. This team don't have enough ball handlers. Do you have somebody else outside of Darius Garland who create their own shot, which they don't have. So you got Caris LeVert. Can he stay healthy now? So ever since he been in the league, the knock on him been injury. He been injury prone. So if you can keep him injury free, the Cavaliers can be a sneaky good team, which they probably a legit team that probably can knock off a team that we can at least expect. But like I said, Kevin Love know his role. Kevin Love is playing lights out this year. Stellar basketball. Kevin Love gets my vote. That's a $6 million a year off the bench. There's nobody's doing it better like him right now. You know what I'm saying? One of the fewer guys that's left from that championship team, so he know what it takes to close games out, game-winning shots. It's all Kevin Love. Since he's on that team as being an elder statesman, that veteran, that's what most young teams are missing. I mean, like I said, I'm 36 years old. I grew up in the era when a young team in the league, they was garbage or they wasn't that good or that wasn't watchable, but they always had two core guys or two veteran guys that been around that block for 12 or 13 years plus. And that's what the game been missing. That's why I respect people like a Vince Carter. He wasn't playing for the ring later on in the season. So I'm going to go to the younger teams. I'm going to help mold the younger guys. And that's what a true veteran do. He helped mold the younger guys. And once you mold the younger guys, you will get a better product. When you got a team full of young guys, the product is not that good. Nobody want to drink it, buy it, see it, taste it, or feel it. So the whole thing I am saying about what's going on, the Cavaliers team plays for each other, which could be a dangerous team, which could be one of those teams in the near future that could probably host the NBA trophy because they are building the team the correct way. Like I said, they probably right now coach of the year on their team right now, and JB Bickerstaff. Let's switch things over to the West. We know the Phoenix Suns right now is 53-13. They're the first team right now in the NBA to clinch a playoff spot. And we know they'll be out with Chris Paul with the fractured hand. So, you got Devin Booker back. But DeAndre Ayton would play big this year. He gets some glitch. When I'm watching the game, sometimes he don't play hard enough. Sometimes you want to play hard every night. You cannot take days off. Because in the Western Conference, we know who the best big man is. It's the Joker, Nikola Jokic. You feel me? So I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns sitting here at number one. This team go as far as Chris Paul and Devin Booker take them. But that other person needs to step up and play a monster every night. It has to be DeAndre Ayton. It has to be DeAndre Ayton. By a landslide. What else this team is missing? Can Jay Crowder be an effective player that he was? Can he be that guy that we know they're gonna knock down the corner shots? We know he's a defensive man, but can he be consistent enough to score points? We don't need him to score out there and score 20. The Phoenix Suns just need Jay Crowder to at least score 10 or 12 points, hit down some key shots. We know what Mikal Bridges can do. This is a young, nice team. This team is very dangerous. Very dangerous. So I'm looking at the second seeded team in the West. One of my favorite guys I like to watch all the time, man. Earthworm Slim. Earthworm Slim. That's what I'm calling him. Ja Morant. Straight beast. Straight monster. AKA Mr. Get the Job Done. And who's doing it better than Ja Morant right now? MVP he's an MVP candidate in my eyes. The Memphis Grizzlies. 45-22. The last time they were this good was Zach Randolph, Mike Conley, Tayshaun Prince, and Tony Allen. The AKA the Grind Team, AKA the Grindhouse. The Memphis Grizzlies playing with that same stuff. And remember, they still don't have Dylan Brooks back yet. This team is dangerous. This team beat this team right here, this Memphis Grizzlies team beat the Golden State Warriors 3 times. This is a dangerous team. Coach Jaeger over there for the Grizzlies. Now he might be your coach of the year just because where they was at last year. But look where they at this year. So you got 2 potential candidates. JB Bickerstaff and Jaeger. Oh, it's a coach named John Jenkins. I know it's one of the two. So you're looking at the coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, who's getting a job done. Getting this guy's believing. All horses go, everything is a go. That Memphis Grizzlies team is nothing to play with. Ja Morant has a different speed. Shout out to Mr. Morant. Been on his son butt since day one. Everybody who know he played basketball, Ray Allen, back in the days in school. train his son like he's getting ready for the pros. He knew he's gonna be this guy getting ready for the pros. You look at this number 3 seed team, the Golden State Warriors. This team wasn't the healthiest all season, but guess what, man? They got the Human Torch on their team. He go by the name of Steph Curry, cooking up threes from every which angle. Who's doing it better than Steph? Who is shooting that 3 ball better than Steph? Who got the ultimate green light like Steph? Please tell me. Steph Curry, Mr. Inflago, Human Torch, aka the BIC, the lighter, Mr. Flick on, got the J working. Man, one thing about this Golden State Warriors team, Klay Thompson in out the lineup due to the injury, still working his way back in. No Draymond Green, but if they get Draymond Green back, and they hopefully supposed to have James Wiseman back in a couple of weeks. I think I said that earlier this year. I said I won't be surprised if the Golden State Warriors win a championship. That team is that good, and they're that damn dangerous. What Draymond Green brings to that team on defensive end is like no other. Straight defensive anchor, direct players, and be in the right spot when he's coaching them. You see him on the sideline, still coaching, still letting the players know what they doing wrong and right. That's what I'm saying. Veterans. Coaching up the young guys. And that team has a lot of young guys. And the one thing about them Jordan Pools and what's his name? Kuminga? Hey, them young guys, man, get the job done, man. Not scared at all. We ain't even talk about Gary Payton, son. The glove. Come on. Got the bounce, play defense, can shoot the ball, take you inside and out. That's what you want from a young guy, man. You got veterans on the team coaching the young guys up. And the one thing I'm going to say about that Warriors team, you come closer, y'all don't hear me. The young guys on that team wants to be coached. When you want to be coached and you listen to what's going on around you, this is the guys who won 3 NBA championship rings. And you know, some people argue would say 4, whatever the case may be. You listen. Because guess what? Them guys are telling you how to get better. And they're going to take you there. All you got to do is sit down, listen, take some notes. And guess what? You come back and say, you know what, man? You was right, man. I looked at some film and see what I did wrong. But next game, we're going to correct it and clean some stuff up. So when you got guys that's listening to you and want to clean some stuff up, it's going to be hard to beat a team like that because they're dangerous. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors. Steve Kerr keeping that team afloat. And they got, like I said, Iggy, too, is another help for them, too. Iggy is a problem out there on defense, folks. Holla, 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 holla for dollar. That's all I'm going to say, man. Andrew Iguodala. The other AI. The 6'9" version. Switch things up. Number 4 team in the West. The Utah Jazz. The playoffs are going to be playing against the Dallas Mavericks. That would be a great one. Probably got the Defensive Player of the Year on your team. And Rudy Gobert. You got Donovan Mitchell. Bojan Bogdanovic. So, what is this team going to do? This is year 3 or 4 that they've been in the playoffs every year now. The Utah Jazz with Donovan Mitchell. How can we get Donovan Mitchell over the hump into the next round? What does this team need? Need some more shooters? Do they need another defender? Can Mike Conley get them over? Can he come up in that big moment? What is this Utah Jazz team need? Do they need another big man off the bench? Or need another shooter? I think they need another. Me, as watching the Utah Jazz throughout the season, I would love for them to have another shooter, another guy to create another shot besides Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson. What are you going to do when Jordan Clarkson go cold? He give you games where he do go cold. He got some games he go insane, out of his mind shooting the rock. Where are the Utah Jazz going to do? This team is deep enough, but I still feel like they're missing something else to get them over that hump. I'm going to say, honestly, another backup point guard would be nice as well. And what most teams are missing, a small forward. Need another 3 that actually is going to lock down and get down there, put their back towards the basket, hit some 15 footers out, and play hard nosed defense. That's what most teams are missing right now, and this is what they're missing. Switching things up. The number 5 team in the West, the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic. You got Dwight Finney Smith is shooting a high clip this year with a 3-point ball. Actually shooting one of the better 3-point shooters in the league, to be honest with you. And you're looking at the Dallas Mavericks. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. Did this team has enough to make it to the second round? I'm gonna say no. Still trying to figure things out. What I have watched, I do like Luka's game. Luka is a crybaby. If you don't get certain calls that go his way, he do get a lot of technical fouls, and some don't go his way. So the whole thing, when Luka don't have things go his way, it takes over his game. He still think about the last 3 or 4 calls that he didn't receive, which interferes with his basketball play. And everybody know about playing basketball and not playing basketball. And you still think about something happened about two, 3 plays ago. It messes with your psyche. You're not thinking about basketball anymore. You still think about the referee who called that horrible call or no call on the other end of the floor. Instead of getting back playing your game, you remember about what the referee doing, and now you join at the referee. The referee tee you up. So you don't need that. So we already know what you can do if you want to beat the Dallas Mavericks. Get some calls to go your way, and watch Luka Doncic blow up. That's been his knock so far I've seen in the league. He can do everything else. He's pretty much a walking bucket. He's the predecessor after when Dirk left. So you're looking at what this team got. Jalen Brunson playing lights out. But for them to win to next series, Luka Doncic got to get outside of his head. He got to stay within the lines of the floor. Don't worry about the referees. Referees make and they miss calls. We see it all the time. We see it on TV just as well. You know what happened. It's the belly of the beast. That's a part of the game. Keep playing and stay tight. Lead your team to victory. The whole thing too, can Josh Powell stay healthy, which I think is an X factor for the Dallas Mavericks. Can he stay healthy enough to get them where they need to go? If they don't, this team is doomed. This team is doomed. The number 16. Right now, my MVP candidate. Nikola Jokic. The Joker. Numbers is better this year. And you got to realize, the reason he's a 6-seeded team. The reason I'm saying where they at is it because of him. Michael Porter Jr. is out with the bat, who possibly might come back before playoff times, or if not in the playoffs. Jamal Murray, who is out, the glitch, who might come back during playoff time or a little bit before that. And you're looking at what he's doing out there. Jokic is holding the team down. This is a big man. This is a center. This is a center who can pass, shoot free throws, 15-footers, 3-pointers, post up, post game, run the floor. This is the ideal big man what people was looking for. We haven't seen nothing we haven't seen a big man move this well in a while at the center spot. At this center spot who can do everything. He's handled the ball like a point guard. And for those who don't know who Zydrunas Ilgauskas is, who played alongside LeBron James, just imagine if Ilgauskas never had the knee injuries in his early years. This is what that looked like. Jokic without the injuries, lost weight, slimmed down again, and still creating trouble out there on the floor. Man, absolute beast, monster, straight monster. Brandon Malone got them playing. Got them boys out there playing at Denver. Denver is a dangerous team, but do they have enough power to make it back where they was at last year? Can this team go to the Western Conference Finals? Because right now their matchup would be the Golden State Warriors, which would be a dangerous matchup for the Denver Nuggets. Don't nobody want to go play up there in Denver in that altitude. Whoa, that'd be tough. Let's talk about that 7-seeded team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Big Cat, the All-Star 3-point champion. Patrick Beverley, that fly that be at the family reunions when you're trying to eat your barbecue. Patrick Beverley's play defense, y'all. Y'all might talk trash about, oh, he dirty. Nah, man. Man's playing defense. Playing real NBA defense. They played back in the early 90s and like they did in the 80s. He playing real defense. Leaving it all out there. A guy like Patrick Beverley Y'all should be able to watch him, man. He better than himself. Went to college, left college, played basketball overseas. Did get drafted. He had to go make some money for his family. He went overseas and played basketball. Came to the NBA and tried out for an NBA team. Betted on himself. When you got guys that bet on themselves, the most dangerous guys that you want to go up against. When you're looking at somebody like Patrick Beverly, kudos to him. Pat Bev played defense. And for everybody who made that joke, so all Patrick Beverly do is run around and get fouls. Hey, foul all you want to. He's playing defense and he's making them guys work on the offensive end. Then, too, you talk about something else. Look at Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook came up with that comment. All he do is run around and foul people. And this is no knock on no one. Russell Westbrook, all he doing is running around shooting bricks. That's all I'm saying. Got more bricks than the contractor trying to build a stadium out there in crypto. What's it called? The crypto arena in LA. They call it the Crypt. On 55th Street, huh? No disrespect to nobody out there, but that's how it is. And you're looking at what the Timberwolves going to do. This team don't have enough juice. If the playoffs start today, we're going against the Clippers. And once the Clippers get back, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George doing this thing, man. And shout out to Ty Lue holding it down. Reggie Jackson believing in himself. He said he's going to retire if he didn't get picked up by another team the year before the Clippers did. Because, it's a mental thing, man. When you come in the league, you know you good, and you know you can play with the best of them, and you're not getting your consistent looks. It can wear on you. Now I'm looking at this team, the Clippers. Okay, they hold it down. Luke Kennard, worthy of the contract. Definitely been worthy. If they want to win more games, you need more people to pick the slack up around them. Definitely Nicholas Batum need to pick it up a little bit more. We've seen it in Charlotte. This ain't the same Nicholas Batum that you've seen in Portland who can answer. What can Nicholas do for you? That's the whole thing. Reggie Jackson been playing stellar basketball, looking like the most improved player to me. The way how he been being a catalyst for the Clippers. And Ty Lue knows what it takes to win the championship game. You get the right pieces and get the right people with the right attitude, you move in the right direction. Shout out to the Clippers. The number 9 team. This team been a disappointment all year. We have high expectations for the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James, like I said before earlier, he's not getting older. He's not getting younger. He's getting older. Anthony Davis is always hurt. Kendrick Nunn be on the bench collecting paychecks. Trevor Ariza in and out. The Lakers have no identity, folks. It's pretty much LeBron James get the basketball, y'all get the hell out the way. LeBron James pound that basketball like no other. Brown is older. We see Brown playing some 5 spots in certain games. The whole thing is, while he's playing the 5, you got Dwight Howard. Use Dwight Howard. Because now you got LeBron at the 5 now. Now you're making him more tired. Now you see him out there sucking for air, gasping for wind. And you're looking at Russell Westbrook. All he can do is slow the game down. Everybody, he's at home playing. He want to be that guy. We know you do. It's not hard to see. And you're looking at Carmelo Anthony. He ain't the same Melo. But he can give you still a quick 12. And Reeves looking really good out there. Malik Monk is definitely playing great basketball. Anthony Davis is the missing piece. He's always hurt. When can he stay healthy? I'm just throw this out there. To Anthony Davis. You're 6'11", 7 feet tall. Can you please take off the low top Kobe's? Kobe do make mid top shoes, bro. He do make high tops. Put some high top shoes on, man. You the only center in the league playing with low tops on. And that's why you keep hurting yourself. Fragile. If you've seen the Christmas story, you know what I'm talking about. AD. Always damaged. That's his new name. I'm just being honest, folks. What can the Lakers do? The Lakers championship window with this team went from here to here. That's how close it got. It's closing. What type of adjustments are they going to make? They're the oldest team in the league and thought they was going to beat teams. The one thing my father always told me, son, when you get older, you know it's your time to come. That my father always said, when the older you get and you try to play against some young boys, it ain't your game no more. The NBA, the team that the Lakers are on, that's an old man's team going up against the young guns. This is a young man's league. When you're a young man, you run the old guys off the floor. And tell me if I'm lying. We didn't play basketball. Like, I'm 36 years old. I remember playing basketball at 17, 18, 19 years old. And we playing against the older guys. And the first thing they do, you're on the fast break to the ball, they grab you by your shirt. Because they don't want you getting off to that easy layup. That's what the Lakers are. They're the young guy. They're the older guys that play at the park. And as soon as you break away and get a steal, they grab you by your shirt. They're not about to chase you and run you down. It's a young man's league. The Lakers got to get some younger players around them, especially some guys who can create their own shot and some shooters. They have no shooters. They all streaky. This team it's not the Los Angeles Lakers that I used to watch. I don't know. Purple and gold is not looking like purple and gold. If you get my drift. Number 10 team in the playoff team, the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion Williamson. Like I told somebody, if you want to be in this league a little bit longer, you got to lose some weight. You got to come off. You got to lose a little bit of weight. There's no knock on the guy. But when you got a former NBA player who have like some health issues and weight issues, as in Charles Barkley, told him that would be the wrong place for Zion to play at, it's down in the bayou, and people started laughing, calling Chuck a hater. Now, when you sit back and listen to Charles Barkley, I'm sorry, I call him Chuck Taylor. I don't know why I call him Chuck Taylor. When you listen to Charles Barkley, when you listen to Charles, he sound right, don't he? He sound right. He been there before. He told Zion, man, you need to get you a nutritionist, get you a nice trainer, and stay up on it. And a dietitian. You don't have no dietitian. Like, come on. Not only that, the city fat shame don't put him on, and drew him on the float. Like, come on. Like, New Orleans, really? Brandon Ingram down there. This team can be dangerous. They got CJ McCollum. But it depends on what Zion. Is Zion playing his way out? Is he trying to play his way out of New Orleans? Who knows? We haven't heard from Zion or seen Zion. He's not giving us that type of feedback that we are looking for. He's not coming on TV talking to us and saying, hey, I've been working on this. I've been trying to get my weight down. We haven't heard anything from Zion. Don't nobody know. You got to have this mentality behind you. You see the guy back on point two, Kobe. And MJ, two guys that had killer instincts. And I can't forget about this one behind me, AI. Those three guys are straight killers. These new guys don't have killer instinct. They might do, they play in the video game, but they don't have it here. And you gotta have it here. You can ask anybody that know me that I play basketball with. Hey man, I'm 5'8", 164 pounds. And then one thing they say about Dante, I mean, I'm 5'8". I play like I'm 6'8". I play with heart, play with brain, and I play with muscle. I'm trying to tell you, when I was out there playing basketball, I mean, my dad would always say, something ain't about how tall you is. If you got it here and here, that's all that matters. Everything else will come to you because you can shoot the ball, you can dribble, you can play defense. But if you got these two things going to coincide with your game, your brain and your heart, can't nobody take that away from you, and you would stay undefeated. So that's why I walk around like, you know what, Pops, you right. Can't nobody beat you. Only person that can beat you is you. When I look myself in the mirror, who could beat you in basketball? I say nobody. And the mirror tell me nobody. Because I'm talking to myself. You motivate yourself. No one can motivate you but you. And until that note, y'all know who it is. This After Hours Live from the Man Cave. It's your host, Tay Wiggs. I'm out. Peace.